As Triple H would say, it's time to play the draft. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. This is your SmackDown review. It is the SmackDown after WrestleMania. And guess what? This SmackDown, just like the Raw, absolutely sucked. However, Vince McMahon was reportedly not backstage. Vince McMahon was reportedly not booking this. So who are we going to blame? We have to blame the one and only Big Nose himself. Look, before we actually get on to this review, I am sick and tired of people claiming that Triple H's 8-month run was great and that McMahon before and after Triple H has sucked and has always sucked and is always going to suck. Let's be real, man. The Triple H era was terrible. There was some slight differences, and I'm not going to lie, he done some things that were marginally better and made the product a little bit better, but there was also negatives with the Triple H era, which overall made it worse. So if you look at the positives Triple H had, okay, I would say there was some slightly more continuity with the product and with the storylines. For example, they would follow up on some things that maybe McMahon wouldn't. We know a lot of times McMahon would just like rewrite the shows. So sometimes, like something that happened last week on Raw, you got to the next week and nothing would it was almost like it didn't take place. It was almost like it wasn't canon. I mean, at least with Triple H, I guess they tried to follow things up. So I'll give him that. And he did drop some Easter eggs. I mean, for example, if you could have one backstage segment, you'd be focused on like the main thing, but there would also be something minor, perhaps, happening in the background. For example, I mean, Rey Mysterio could be cutting a promo in Spanish. Viva la Mexico! My son is an arsehole! But meanwhile, backstage, behind Rey Mysterio, behind the curtains, Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan could be making out, you know, but they only show you in the corner, so you have to pay attention because it's not at the forefront. So I mean, I'll give Triple H credit for that. That was like, for example, that was like two things that I think he did better with the product. But let's look at the negatives that we had to endure during the Triple H era. How many bums did he bring back that were fired by McMahon that should never have been brought back? I'm talking Johnny Gargano. I'm talking Candice LeRae. I'm talking Dakota Kai. I'm talking Emma. I'm talking Tegan Knox. Hit Row. Bronson Reed, you name all these people. I mean, the only three people that Triple H brought back that I think should be anywhere near the company would be Dexter Lumis, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Now, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman absolutely suck, but I do believe that you can package them in a way that they are worthy of being on the roster. And Dexter Lumis, I mean, we can say what we want about Triple H, but he has buried Dexter Lumis. The whole comeback storyline was absolutely shit. I mean, for the first month it was pretty good, but then they introduced he was doing it for money, and the thing just completely died. So yeah, you can't blame McMahon on that. That one was Triple H. So that's one thing we had to endure. Triple H bringing back wrestlers that just did not belong on the roster. And second of all, how many long matches now have we seen? Triple H just dragging out matches on Raw and SmackDown. You know, McMahon wasn't as bad for that, but Triple H, god damn it, jobber matches lasting 20 minutes. Jobber matches going through 3 segments. It's like, what the hell? We don't want that. We don't need that. And I remember once on Raw, for a period of Raw, you were getting Johnny Gargano, and he was showing up on 7 different segments. Then there was one time on Raw, I actually timed how much screen time Damage Control had, and it was 42 minutes on an episode of fucking Raw. Damage Control getting 42 minutes. I mean, that is unforgivable. So yeah, I mean, was it really worth it? The small positives that Triple H brought back, was it really worth it just to see Bayley's face for 42 minutes? I don't think so. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get into tonight's show. Like I said, this was the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I mean, you expect big things to happen. You expect good stuff to happen. The fallout for WrestleMania. I can't wait. How are we going to open up the show? What's going to happen? I tell you what's going to happen. Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes. What a way to kill any momentum that you have coming out of WrestleMania. Honestly, going straight into a dead match. No, you should. The show should always open up with something important. It should be a promo or a segment or something like that, a backstage vignette. It should not be a dead match. SmackDown comes on, the first SmackDown after Mania, and the first thing we get is Imperium versus Brawling Brutes that lasts about 20 minutes. Honestly, man, if this was almost enough to make me turn off SmackDown. Who the fuck cares about the Brawling Brutes and Imperium? I mean, Imperium, take away Gunther, and it's just 2 jobbers. And the same for the Brawling Brutes. Take away Sheamus, and it's just 2 bums. But I mean, come on, you don't. I mean, you just do not come back from WrestleMania going straight into a match. It shouldn't happen. I mean, when Austin won the title at Mania, he opened up Raw the next night, or he opened up SmackDown the next night. You didn't get a fucking jobber 6-man tag match, but it's WWE. Whatever, they can do what they want. The Brawling Brutes win. Who, I'm not surprised. The only thing that slightly surprised me was it was Giovanni Vinci who lost. He took a brogue kick from Sheamus for the win. Normally, it is the other guy, Ludwig Kaiser, but I mean, they both get treated like bums, so what does it matter? And why is Gunther putting up with this? Gunther's supposed to be, you know, this guy that prides himself. He says the ring is sacred, yet he constantly puts up with failures from his 2 partners. It's like, why isn't he slapped the shit out of these guys again? It makes no sense. I don't know if that was a McMahon thing, but that was actually good. I thought it was interesting because, you know, why would Gunther accept failure? He was right to slap the shit out of Ludwig Kaiser, but for some reason he stopped doing it. We come back from the break and we see alright, so we don't get Brock Lesnar or nothing like that. What we do get though is we get highlights of what happened on Raw. So no Cody, no Brock, but they show us Raw highlights. I mean, is this the best we've got? I remember SmackDown in the dark days, like around 2011, 2012, 2013, when like SmackDown was clearly the B show. All the good stuff was happening on Raw, and they would just show you the Raw highlights on SmackDown, and that's what this felt like. It felt like, oh, here's the big stuff with Brock and Cody on Raw, but yeah, they ain't going to turn up to SmackDown, so just watch the repeats on SmackDown. I don't get it. And if they want to do a brand split, then why are you showing Raw shit on SmackDown? That never happened back in the day when they actually had the brand split. It was like the 2 brands were almost completely separate, you know, minus the big 4 pay-per-views. But now, it's like, there's no reason, like, you can miss Raw because if anything big happens, they'll just cover it on SmackDown. Back in the day, if you missed Raw, there was no way you wouldn't be able to find out what happened by watching SmackDown. So, you know, you needed to watch both shows, but now, you know, they both cover each other. So it's dumb. It's dumb. We get Paul Heyman backstage with Solo Sikoa. Jimmy Uso interrupts them. Jimmy Uso's looking for his brother. Jey Uso's looking for his brother Jimmy. Heyman says that Jimmy's took the night off because Roman wants him to sit at home and watch the main event through a TV screen so they can see him, take him out, you know, take out Sami Zayn. Wouldn't it make more sense if he could, like, see him in person, right up close in the action? I think that would make more sense, but yeah, whatever. Then Heyman tells Jey to go and get ready. And then Heyman tells Solo that if Jey can't solve their problem tonight, then Solo needs to solve it. So, yeah, I guess we'll get Solo. Solo going to turn on Jey. Is Solo going to take out Sami himself? I guess we'll find out. Then we go straight to another match that's absolutely dead. Ricochet versus Ivar. I mean, so this match didn't happen at Mania, but they were in the same match at Mania, and it was a throwaway toilet piss break match. So why do they think we need to see this on SmackDown? I don't know, but it's Ricochet versus Ivar. Ricochet gets the win, hits the shooting star press off the top rope, and again, if we want to hold Triple H to the same standard as we're holding McMahon, look at what Triple H has done to the Viking Raiders. When McMahon left, the Viking Raiders were unstoppable. Triple H got in charge, okay, the Viking Raiders got injured, that might have halted the momentum a little bit, but they were still unbeaten. They came back, they started beating more people, and now look at them. They lost one match, and they've just been jobbed out ever since. Never even got a shot at the titles after being, like, unbeaten for a year. So, yeah, if we want to talk about how McMahon has ruined careers and McMahon has, you know, let things down and all this stuff, then let's look at Triple H, because, I mean, the Viking Raiders were looking great. They were looking unbeatable, and now they look like absolute shit. So, yeah, that's Big Nose's fault. Then we go backstage. We see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn talking together. Sami says he needs to talk to Jey. Uso's like, Owens is like, I don't think he wants to talk to you. But Sami's like, something doesn't feel right, and he needs to talk to Jey before their match tonight. So Owens doesn't think it's a good idea, but Sami says that he needs to do it. So it is what it is. Then we get Natalya versus Shotzi. No, Natalya and Shotzi versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. So look, Raquel Rodriguez comes out and she does her flex, you know, she stands back, she poses, she shows off her traps, she shows off her muscular back. I guess this is the equivalent of Bianca Belair in her ponytail fucking swing, so this is Raquel Rodriguez's gimmick, but I tell you what, it's a horrible gimmick. People don't want to see this big, muscular fucking woman that looks like a man with Triple H's big fucking nose flexing off her back muscles. It's not attractive, it's not appealing, it's not what men want to see in women's wrestling. Why does she think this is a good idea? She comes out, she turns around, she shows us the muscles on her back, and she thinks that's going to get her over. She thinks that's enough to make everyone like her. Fuck no. When I see that, I want to turn off the TV. But yeah, Raquel and Liv Morgan win. I don't understand this team at all, and it just shows you Liv Morgan has just regressed. Last year, she did the same thing with Rhea Ripley. You know, she was in a team with Rhea Ripley. They went into WrestleMania together, tag team match. They won, and then coming out of WrestleMania, I think they won. I can't even remember if they won. And then they were still a team coming out of WrestleMania, but quickly Rhea Ripley turned on Morgan. And I think the same thing will probably happen with Raquel, to be honest. I think Raquel Rodriguez will turn on Liv, or maybe Liv will turn on Raquel. Doesn't really matter. But I don't see it being a long-term team. But yeah, Liv Morgan, Raquel get the win. Then we see Xavier Woods. He's backstage with Emma and Madcap Moss playing WWE 2K23. I mean, at least this game's pretty good, unlike a lot of WWE 2K games. But he's playing. LA Knight walks in. He said he's tired of all these games. He's not happy with how WrestleMania 39 went off. And he says that how can Woods got on the show playing all these video games, but he can't? Woods says that, you know, if he wants, he can kick his ass again, and LA Knight takes his controller and smashes it, then throws it on the ground, and Woods is left there fucking crying, he broke my controller! You know, it's like, what the hell? Oh, he wasn't quite crying, but, you know, Moss had to hold him back, and, I mean, I like LA Knight. The guy was done dirty at WrestleMania. He certainly should have been on the show. Unfortunately, for one reason or another, though, he wasn't, so that's what it is. Triple H comes out, he announces the WWE draft. That was pretty much it. He just says that the draft's going to happen. He also, you know, bragged about WrestleMania 39 records, but he kind of done this on Raw as well. So it was basically like just a repeat of what he done on Raw. So didn't really get that. It was just like a Raw repeat. They could have just showed the fucking Raw promo. Just show Raw highlights again, and that would have covered this. But he speaks about the draft, and he says that it will change the game. So yeah, getting his nice wee pun in there, the game pun. Then we go to... Alright, then we get the Judgment Day come out. Rhea Ripley comes out with the belt. Rhea Ripley says that she's the star. She says she's the attraction. She says she's the biggest and best champion in WWE while looking like a big freak show man bastard. And honestly, this just makes the rest of the Judgment Day look weak. The fact that we've got three guys that are standing there like absolute simps, whereas this big masculine looking fucking woman is the only person with a title belt in the faction, and she's claiming she's the best. She's claiming she's the best champion, the most dominant, the most successful, and these three guys are just standing in the background. I mean, where would you get this? You wouldn't get this, man. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, they look like chumps, and I get it, maybe that's Dominic Mysterio is a chump, but I mean, Damian Priest looks like an absolute simp here. I mean, Rhea Ripley's talking about bow down to Mammy, and Damian Priest is sitting in the background just, you know, listening to this, when realistically he could kill everybody in the ring. So, again, not a crap promo. Then we get Rey and Santos Escobar versus Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio tag team match. The Latino World Order has now formed officially, I guess, but this stable would have maybe meant a little bit more. It would have felt a bit more important if Legado del Fantasma didn't get jobbed out for the first 3 months they were on SmackDown. I mean, honestly, this faction was pretty good in NXT. For whatever reason, they took out the chick. I can't remember what her name was, but they took her out and they put in Selena. I'm not too sure why they did that, but they did it anyway. And then they came up to SmackDown and they just turned out to be bums. They turned out to be jobbers. They didn't do anything good. They just lost week after week after week. Now they've been teamed with Rey Mysterio because they're from the same country or they've got the same roots. Viva la Mexico, Mexico. You know, it's like, I mean, who cares? Just Mexican bums, aren't they? Scott Steiner would say these guys should be mowing lawns. They don't belong to be in the same faction as Rey Mysterio. And Damian Priest and Dominic win when Damian Priest hits the South of Heaven on Santos for the pin. So there you go. Big Damian Priest putting away Santos Escobar after he clocked Rey on the apron. Also, Dominic in his promo before says he took it easy on Ray and that he wouldn't hit his father. He didn't. He held back with his punches because he loves his father. I tell you what, I mean, Dominic Mysterio. I think Dominic Mysterio's getting over. Dominic Mysterio is getting booed massively by the crowd. When Rhea Ripley cut her promo, I mean, you could hear a fly, you could hear flies, you could hear pin drops, you could hear anything, man. But when Dominic was cutting his promo, man, it was boos, 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 boos. So you know who's got the more heat there. Yeah, Rhea Ripley says she's the best and most dominant. I guess not. We get Sami Zayn backstage. He approaches Jey Uso. Sami tells Jey that he just wants to talk. If Jey doesn't want to talk, then just listen. Sami says everything he's told Jey is true. He says that Jey still has a way out. So Sami's still persisting that Jey can leave the Bloodline. Sami says everything he said about the Bloodline's been true. He said he was going to take it down. He's going to crumble. He's going to take their titles. And he said that's happened. And now he says that Jey can leave. But before he gets an answer, we hear like commotion in the background. Sami Zayn goes to run and check, and it turns out that Kevin Owens has been attacked by Solo Sikoa. So Solo Sikoa has injured Kevin Owens, and this now means that Sami Zayn is going to have to go out there tonight on his own, and he will not have his partner. He will not have big fat asshole Kevin Owens. So yeah, Sami Zayn going solo tonight, pun intended. And then we get the match, Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso. Decent main event, I guess. Is what it is. Sami Zayn's on the outside. Jey Uso gets pushed back into the ring by the referee. Solo Sikoa comes in, hits Sami Zayn with the Samoan spike. This almost takes Sami out the game, but Uso's not content. He wants to win his own way, and he hits a super kick on Sami Zayn to get the win. So Solo spike, super kick, 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso gets the win, beats Sami Zayn, middle of the ring, no Kevin Owens in sight. Solo Sikoa then starts beating down Zayn. He's about to hit him with the Samoan spike again, but Jey Uso stops him. And then you think maybe Jey Uso is, maybe thinking about what Sami Zayn was saying, but nah, Jey Uso hits Sami Zayn with another super kick, and I guess he wants to punish Sami his own way. So he tells Solo to grab a chair. Solo gets a chair. And then we hear, bro, and Matt Riddle comes out, saves the day, beats up Sami Zayn, beats up Solo Sikoa, beats up Jey Uso. Everyone's saying this is great because it was Solo that took out Riddle, so this makes sense, but I mean, Matt Riddle was on Raw, and he didn't attack the Judgment Day. I mean, he didn't attack the Bloodline, he didn't attack Solo on Raw, so why is he waiting until SmackDown? So it doesn't make that much sense when you think about it, because they just completely ignored this on Raw. Riddle could have came out and attacked Solo on Raw, but he didn't. He waited till SmackDown. So yeah, it doesn't make that much sense if you think about it. Sami gets back to his feet. Riddle's there. Riddle's standing in the ring with Sami. Jey and Sikoa are heading up the ramp, and SmackDown goes off the air. So this is the SmackDown after WrestleMania, guys. I mean, not a lot happened. You could argue we got a Matt Riddle return, but like I said, he already returned on Raw, so it was a bit cheap, very lame. It opened up with the worst way imaginable, just a cold 6-man tag match with a bunch of fucking bums. Nothing interesting happening. I mean, Triple H cut basically the same promo that he did on Raw, with the only difference is he says there's going to be a draft in a couple of weeks' time. Not a great SmackDown. Honestly, I'm going to give it I'll give it a 2 out of 10. Raw was better for the simple fact that Raw, you had Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. That stuff was good. There was nothing really good on SmackDown. And this one apparently was a Triple H show. McMahon wasn't even there. So, yeah, there you go. McMahon, he's a big bad wolf apparently. Well, he's not that bad because this show fucking absolutely sucked and Triple H was in charge. So, yeah, it's scary. If Raw and SmackDown are this bad and we're only a week away after WrestleMania, then what's it going to be like in couple months time when WrestleMania is gone and we're in the middle, we're approaching spring, we're approaching summer, the show's going to absolutely suck. Anyway guys, that's it, 2 out of 10. Let us know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you in the next one, and of course, till next time, Bean Fog Wrestling, thanks for watching and peace.